wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. What I would like to share you about the listening strategies. Strategies to page to listening. Here one some practice tip of listening. TOEFL answer question listening comprehension strategies. The first in the listening section in the tuple test, there are many things that can affect the achievement score. Are and quality equivalent players maybe. Quality script and clear sound of the instrument. Uh, Cassette or CD player will be a possible influence on the concentration of the sentence expressed by the speaker must be able to be captured either by the listener to be able to understand the intent of the conversation. And the second, idiom expression and multiplier verbs. Without knowing idiom expression and multi-part verbs, it is difficult or particular to answer the listening test and test related to both of these. And be patching hearing exam or listening test on the TOEFL. And then the next maybe conversation short or short dialogue. In the case of testing short conversation, the easiest trick is to find similarities or synonym from the core of the conversation itself. And the type include result or restatement, a negative statement, and the possible response or base person, suggest or suggestion, the passive voice or passives, who and where or who and where, and consent or agreement. And the next, dialogue leg or long dialogue. In the long dialogue, we are not only required to understand the main idea of the conversation, but also must be able to remember the detail of things that exist in the conversation. The main requirement to make it easier to answer question of this kind of is the ability to hear or listening skill and advice level given the level of capability that is really good. And the next, the finally discussion like long times. The process of to answer this question is no different from the process of answering a long dialogue. In addition to the ability level of advice, notice that the question certainly is to in accordance with the order of the information what we listen. And then the next, the key to listening comprehension, maybe public key. The first, understand the set uh, comment or direction in each section, part by part, with good after hey exam day. And the second, read the section in each question as much as possible when the narrator is reading direction and exam problem. And the third, listen with full concentration and focus your attention to the conversation you are listening. And the fourth, maximize for listening ability on matter purpose on each part. And the fifth, focus your hearing on the second. And the sixth, do not panic if you cannot understand a word or four in word. If the conversation is complete, you only need to capture an idea or content of the conversation. And the seventh, if you could not understand what was said, second speaker, chose the best answer is different from what you heard. And the next, understand from functional expression, maybe agreement, uncertainty, suggestion, surprise, idiomatic expression, and the situation when the conversation is done. And next, when the narrator read part B, direction you should read the answer choice at a grade, grades, and then record it and listen carefully the time of what would be a conversation. And the 10, when listening to the conversation, you have to know what the time topic being discussed and beware of each question. Pay attention to the condition and circumstance that occurs during the conversation took place, namely regarding the place and time of the conversation, what and who's talking about. And the next, if you have time, like a look at the answer choice listed in the bucket and find the keyword. And be aware of the tense in the first sentence because it usually will be the topic of the sentence, next sentence maybe. And focus your hearing on matter related to question. Uh, Fifth, W. What, who, when, where, why, and how. And finally, make conclusion in inference the situation that occurs when the conversation is done. Okay, I think enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.